Are you guys ready for this? I've got some crazy stuff here. Check this out. Hold on.
People save up their whole lives for these guitars, you know, and we owe that to them to make sure that we do it the way that they expect it to be.
There's going to be a lot of things played on this fretboard, huh?
That's true. Yeah, this is where the music is made.
There you go. That's it.
You're doing all the
no way, man.
Got that new wood burner.
What? What is that?
Oh,
Holy smokes!
It's not just another job; it's an adventure.
Hey everyone, Dinesh here from Gibson, and we are here at Gibson Custom in Nashville, Tennessee. We're gonna find out why a Gibson Custom Shop guitar is your forever guitar. Let's do it.
Dustin, tell me what goes on here. What does one expect that comes out of the custom shop, man?
Pretty much whatever you want it to come out of a custom shop, we strive to deliver. So, you know, we have sort of our greatest hits offering, which we call it our core collection. It's made up of, you know, historic reissues. We also have a modern collection, which is something like maybe a Les Paul Access, where there's no historical tie. It's a modern take on the Les Paul. We have Murphy Lab as well, which you can, you know, it has a core collection of greatest hits. This being the custom shop, we also have a program called Made to Measure, which is your opportunity to customize a guitar. And it can be anything from a small tweak on one of our greatest hits, like, you know, maybe taking an early 50s gold top and putting a thinner neck on it, because those sort of had that baseball neck, you know, maybe you want a thinner neck. Or it can be just something you dream up, a wild take on from a finishing standpoint, or even just a full-blown spec.
Okay, so now we're in a really special area of the custom shop. This is known as the wood library, correct?
Yeah, so this is where all the magic starts. You know, custom shop guitars are a unique blend of materials, a unique sort and grading process that we go through. You know, before we make the first cut, we start with the most premium materials we can get our hands on. You know, that is one of the things that makes this shop very unique, is our grading and sorting process on the materials. So whether it's mahogany or maple or something like koa, sapelli, we've got a lot of different types of exotic woods that we can work with as well. The maple's always fun. You know, that's what people
I'm seeing this here. This is
excited about.
I can see why. Okay, yeah. So I mean, what's happening here?
Well, this is a AAA figured R9 top, if you will. It's a 59 top. So you know, this one's a super wide flame, but we also get all kinds of different maple tops. You know, this one is pretty rare in the sense that it's a one-piece top. Now it's a 3A quilt grade, but one piece. You don't see that book match seam. So
got it.
Pretty difficult for us to find these tops in the dimension that we need to do one piece on a top. But you know, one piece 3A quilt.
That's beautiful.
Graded here, and then we got, you know, one piece 5A quilt.
Wow.
But then, you know, even on a two-piece quilt top, you know, something like this. I mean,
beautiful.
Just absolutely. Let me put a little water on there to sort of get the full effect. But you know, this is something that's really going to come to life whenever you start applying stain and all of that, and then ultimately the nitro lacquer as well will give it some depth. And then, you know, your standard sort of plain maple top. This could be on anything from something that's getting painted over, like a gold top.
Okay.
You know, but we also have a requirement even on a plain top for grade and weight, because you can have a super light back, but then you put an extremely heavy piece of mahogany on the top, and you're sort of countering all the work you did around the mahogany back.
Interesting. So, and then in the Made to Measure program, like someone could ask for a heavier body or a lighter body, right? They could be weight specific.
You know, some people are interested in weight. They're very it's a huge priority for them, and you can go a couple of different routes.
Yeah.
So you can do something sort of non-historic, which we do in our modern lineup, which is actually chambering the mahogany back, where we take material out of it, and that's how we get to a lighter weight. But if you're a purist and you want a solid mahogany back on your guitar, that's where the weight and grading of by weight for the back comes into play. So we can give you a light guitar by using the lightest materials on that guitar without taking any material away.
Really nice. And I like how you guys have variations of the burst.
Well,
just
it also
to see that.
shows sort of the different, you know, not all tops are equal, and not all tops, not every customer is looking for the same thing in a top. Some are looking for just strictly wild flame. Others are looking for something that looks a little more historically accurate, if you will, to the late 50s. You know, so this is gonna have a lot of mineral deposits, a lot of character. It looks like an old piece of wood, right? Everybody has their own thing that they're looking for, and that's what we try to accommodate.
And this is kind of like the thickness of a top?
No, this is just a color sample. Yeah, it's just cut down. It is carved though, so that's kind of cool. Custom shop's a lot of things. It's the materials, obviously the people. I mean, you know, but you put those two things together, and you've got some really special instruments that are going to be around for a very long time.
So first stop on our custom shop tour, we're here with my man Dustin Wainscott, Program Director of Made to Measure. Dustin, thanks so much for taking the time to meet us out here, man. Dude, we're super stoked. I'm excited to be here. This is where the magic happens, right?
I mean, how many times have you been in here? What? This is your...
Man, I've only been in here a few times.
Yeah.
Could you tell us where we are right now? I know this is the first stop on the tour here, but yeah, where are we right now, bro?
Yeah, so this is Whitewood. This is where all of it begins.
Okay.
We store all of our wood in a climate-controlled building up the hill, and we bring it in daily through a garage door that is right behind the camera here. Bring it in, process starts here in building any of the incredible models that we build, whether it's a 335 or a Carina Flying V, 59 Les Paul, all of it starts right here in Whitewood, and it starts with the materials, the wood itself. So we'll bring it in, we condition some of that wood in a kiln. The wood will go a couple of different directions. It will either go to body line, which starts behind us, or to neckline, which we'll get into a little bit later down the road here.
Okay, so now the wood's coming from another location. Is it just a climate control thing, or is it just a size thing?
Well, I mean, one of the comments you made coming in is how small this place is, right? So we need all the space we can get in this small building for the production itself. So we have we call it the wood shack. It's a building up the road that is climate controlled, and we store all of our raw materials in that building.
Yeah.
Obviously in Nashville, we deal with, you know, hot, humid summers, pretty cold winters. We need to climate control that, so we store it in a climate controlled building. My buddy Aaron, who works over at the wood shack, he brings it in at about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Holy smokes,
and so it's here for production to get things rolling. And you're gonna see materials, everything from, obviously we've got some Carina. I don't know if that's so obvious, but Carina coming in. Our neck stock, which this has been machined over at the wood shop. And then we also have, you know, obviously maple, mahogany, all the components. Over here's rosewood, which you can't see. We'll get into that.
I've never seen Carina in its like raw form like that.
Yeah, we just put some strings on it, you know?
That is amazing just to see that wood in its raw form.
Yeah, so this is Carina neck stock. You can actually see the neck outline where we're gonna cut that out. Some materials require a little more conditioning and acclimating to the environment. We do have a kiln that we primarily run our Carina through the kiln. So here we're starting the process of building a Les Paul body. It's attaching the mahogany back to the maple top through our press, and my boy Ian here, he can tell you a lot more about that.
Okay, cool.
Hey, what's up, man?
Ian, what's up, man? Tell me exactly like what's going on here with the bodies. Are these bodies coming in like ready to cut, or like he was saying something about the pressing?
Once they come from the warehouse, we'll go off the list, basically pull everything we need to, make sure everything's there, sand it to thickness, sand the back to thickness, and basically glue everything up.
So Ian, could we see one of those guys real quick?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, this is a plain top, which means that there's no figure in it whatsoever. It's just plain Jane maple.
All these pieces look pretty consistent as far as the grain and like the weights and all that, right?
Yeah, that depends on where we get the wood from. Most of it, I think, is about 850 to 900 thousandths, and we have to take it down to about 760.
Right, right.
And the backs start at about 1800. They will take those down to about 1760, glue everything together, and let it dry for about 4 hours or so. And
so now, what's happening here in the press exactly when you guys take this piece and then attach it to one of those, what are these, like the body blanks kind of thing?
Right. Sometimes we'll have these bigger body blanks that we use, but most of the time they're like the pre-CNC'd ones. So once we get these tops to thickness, we'll kind of trace everything out, and it'll have like locator pins to where everything will go. The same thing for the back. So it's like when you glue everything together, it'll kind of, you know, everything will kind of gel, so to speak.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been here in the custom shop?
Be 4 years, December 2nd.
Right on, man. And how's it been so far? Like, did you start here, or did you work at somewhere else?
Yeah,
or?
So I started in rough mill for about the first year or so, and then I moved to repair.
Okay.
I've been in repair pretty much ever since then, and I'll come down here just to kind of help out. But, you know, really, you know, everybody kind of wears a few different hats up here, so, you know, you gotta do what you can.
You play guitar, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
You do your own guitars and all that? Was this kind of like something that you did before?
I went to school at Roberto Vin.
Oh, right on.
2017.
Yeah.
A lot of people look at this place as just a job, you know, but it's like it kind of gives you a good reason to wake up every day, you know, because obviously I went to school for it, so it's something I want to do for the rest of my life.
Well, man, this is incredible, dude. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your work day here to help us out here and talk about that, man.
Right
Very
on.
cool.
Next step's going to be starting the first pass cut on a carve for the top. We're also going to be doing all of our control routes, and additionally we're going to do a channel for binding once we've done a full shape here. But Biz runs the Fadal here, and he's a man of getting a Les Paul going, so I'm going to hand it off to him to let him run the first pass on this thing.
Awesome. It's crazy to see the first pass here on that carve, and that machine just doing it perfectly every time. Dude, tell us a little bit about, you know, what's going on here besides the carve on there.
Well, this is the first carve. Pretty much cuts out all the switch holes and the perimeter for the binding channel. They put the plastic on and pretty much smooths it out. And then after it goes binding, we take it and we carve it again for second carves, and then it goes over the neckline after that.
And Biz, how long have you been here at the custom shop?
I've been here for 5 years.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah, yeah. Now, were you doing woodworking before, or any type of stuff like this at this company before, or somewhere else? Or?
Well, in upstate New York, where I'm from,
yeah,
I've been a machine operator since the age 18.
Nice.
So kind of second nature when I moved down here.
Yeah.
The first job I got within the first 2 months. I moved to Tennessee. Been real happy here. It's like a family.
Very cool, man. Dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much for letting us take a peek in here,
You're
man.
welcome.
I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother.
Part of what we do is historical accuracy. It's critical to who we are here at Custom Shop, and we saw Biz running a 59 Les Paul, maybe it was a 57, 58, but it was a maple top Les Paul standard. Our early Customs had an all mahogany body, and Patrick here is running a carve on an all mahogany top. So you won't see, it's one piece of mahogany. You will not see a maple top on it. Commonly called a black beauty. The guitar is going to be painted black.
Okay. Okay.
One piece of mahogany.
Right.
Patrick is in the middle of processing a couple of 57 Les Paul Customs over here.
Okay, great. Patrick, if we could ask you a couple of questions here as well. Now, what's the percentage of what you guys see as far as like the guitars with the tops versus the all mahogany?
We see a lot more of the maple cap, of the reissue bodies, the 56 through 60 models, or 54 through 60 models. Although we do run quite a bit of the black beauties. And in my operation here, it'll start out on the front to where we will do the control holes and the switch pocket.
Okay.
And once that process is finished, then it moves to the back and it cuts out a profile, carves the top, and then it cuts the holes for your pots and your switch.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, and it already has like a pre-cut for the neck slot. For the neck to go into. This isn't the final neck slot. It actually gets opened up on another process down the line.
I see. Is the process any different when the guitar has a top versus just a solid body like that?
Not really. This process is a little more in depth. It actually cuts the entire perimeter for the binding cut. This one only does a partial.
Okay.
And from this process, it moves on to the next step in rabbiting. And they will take that body and pick up from where this machine last cut, and they will complete the rabbiting for the binding channel.
Got it.
They will also cut the binding channel on the back over there. So once this is said and done, you will have a binding route on the top and the back.
Got it. Got it.
And then it will go into the next step of binding, and then they'll bind the guitar. And from then, basically, it's a finished body.
I see. Okay, cool. So now tell me, how long have you been here at the custom shop?
I have been at the custom shop for 17 years. Monday was my 17-year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been here for 17 years. I started initially in binding.
Okay.
I worked over there for a year and a half, and then I moved to the Como. I've been over here for 15 years.
That is incredible.
A little more than 15 years.
And you're a guitar player as well?
Yes, I do play guitar.
Right on, right on. How long have you been playing guitar for?
Oh gosh, long time. I would say ever since I was like maybe 12.
Wow.
So 40 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. 9-year-old kids on YouTube kill me, but you know.
Hey, you know, man, you're sitting here making them now.
Yeah, yeah. This was like a dream job for me to be able to make something that I was really interested in. So this was like a natural fit for a job.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Man, well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule here to give us a little insight on what goes on. This is just incredible.
Awesome.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, I'm seeing some things come together now.
One of the critical things with what makes our guitars so unique and beautiful is that binding, right? That goes into the body. So we're going to start the binding process. We first have to wrap it and clean up those channels around the body to give us something to bind. Butch here, legendary man, is back here. We're doing some rabbiting work, getting a body ready for binding. And I think Butch is he's approaching the half-century mark with Gibson.
Wow.
So I think 47 years, 46 years here.
That's incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
And binding's a big deal. This takes a long time. This is a pretty involved process.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a process that it's physically demanding on the process itself, and we'll get into showing that. But it's also a bit tedious, right? I mean, you've got to make sure that you have absolutely no gap in that binding. A lot of times you can't see the gap until you paint the guitar. You'll see lacquer sinking in the binding where you have some sort of gap. So high skill level, huge ramp on training, and you know, half a century, and Butch is just now probably getting his legs underneath him.
So we're here with Butch. Butch, you're the man, the myth, the legend here. Now, I was just talking to Dustin about the binding process here and the stuff that's happening here.
Yes, sir.
Pretty involved.
Yeah, different things can give you different challenges.
Yeah. Now, how long did it take you to kind of get it down?
I would say, just to be safe, still working on it. But it's you try to learn something every day.
Right, right. Well, it's something that sets our guitars apart, that binding process and everything, right?
Yes.
It's like it's just seeing like what goes into it. It's just a lot of detail, a lot of work, a lot of time. What got you here at the custom shop? Like, how did that start out?
Well, my folks were involved in woodworking, so
okay.
They made furniture.
Yeah.
So I guess just tagged along with them, only in a different format.
So it's in the blood.
It could be, yes.
It could be, yeah. Well,
it's lasted this long.
It's awesome to see that you've been here, man, and all the work that comes out of here. It's just fantastic. Now behind me, I've got a body. This is something that you just finished, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if we take a look at that, you just basically made the insert or like the little route here for that binding to sit in there.
Correct. Yeah, when I get the body, it's pretty much like that.
Oh, right, with nothing on it. Yeah, right.
Then it starts taking shape for the binding after I get through with it and pass it on to the next step.
That's incredible. Well, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule here to talk with us.
Yes, sir.
And man, congratulations on 46 years with Gibson.
Well, yeah.
Very awesome, my friend.
Still working on it.
Hey, good to have you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's not just another job. It's an adventure.
Okay, so Dustin, now looks like we've got the bodies almost finished, right here?
Yeah, I mean, so we've done our carves, we've done our shaping, we've done our binding. The only thing we haven't done is put a neck in the guitar and do our pickup route, you know?
Okay, gotcha.
So basically at this point, we've got a, looks like maybe a gold top, maybe a 58, it's a plain top, you know, bound obviously, carved, neck tinted, control routes, no pickup routes, no neck, but we've been through body line at this point.
Awesome.
So,
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Shoot, man, coming together. Awesome.
coming together.
Okay, so this is like neck central over here.
Yeah,
right?
so Whitewood is as I mentioned earlier, it's sort of split into two sides. We got the body line side, we've got the neck side, and we're gonna get into neck fit where the body and the neck come together. But over here, we're gonna start making a Gibson neck, and you know that open book shape is something that is very Gibson, and a lot of the machines in here are a mix of old, mix of new. We've got machines that are much older than you and I that came from the Kalamazoo plant, like this neck clamp back here, which is where we will be attaching mahogany wing blocks to our neck stock to sort of give us the real estate, to give it that Les Paul shape.
I see.
Or Gibson shape, I should say. You know, a lot of times we're ultimately going to put a veneer over the peg head face where the Gibson logo and all of that is.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, when you turn over a Gibson headstock, you'll see those two lines. You know, if it's a translucent finish, you can see where those wing blocks are. And using this machine, or this fixture, I guess I should say, is where we're actually attaching these wing blocks to start the neck process.
Got it.
So yeah, it's pretty cool to see the
That's
old
awesome,
and new
man.
all come together in one place.
Yeah. Now, can we take a look now? What I know it might not be the exact next step, but maybe like the fretboard and then integration with like the neck being carved out.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of work to do on this. This is basically just neck stock at this point. We've got to attach a fingerboard. We've got to put a truss rod in this thing. We've got to get that headstock shape right. We're a long ways from a completed neck, but this is the first step. We're getting the wing blocks on, and we're starting to sort of get that shape that we're looking for.
Very cool. Okay, so now I'm starting to see some familiar shapes.
Yeah, those trapezoids look familiar, don't they? So we've done the radius, we've done our fret slots, we've done our inlays on the raw piece of rosewood in this case. But what we're working towards is obviously frets, binding, a completed fretboard. So what we're doing over here is we're going to install all of our frets using our fret press, and then we're also going to bind the fingerboard and install our side dots. So, you know, a lot of people look at side dots and they'll think, oh, those are just painted on dots. Sure. But we actually will drill holes and hammer the material in there, whether it's you know, tortoise shell or a white, like on a black binding we'll use white.
There's a nice piece of rosewood too. I mean, I'm noticing a lot of the stuff too is a little bit darker on the rosewood.
Yeah, I mean, this is completely unconditioned raw rosewood, so it's going to darken up a lot as we oil it. But yeah, this goes back to sort of the ingredients and the grading. You know, we start with a really solid piece of material to begin with. Yeah. Going to process it, and then later on down the line, we're going to do the neck prep, the oiling, and all of that. But back here, we're doing frets, binding, and getting to a point where we can put a fretboard on a neck. One of the people I absolutely adore is Tim back here. As you can see, he's doing some binding work on fingerboards.
That looks like it takes a lot of time. I mean, just watching him lay that fingerboard on that piece right there, that piece of binding.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no machine for that.
No, you can't replace that process.
Wow.
I mean, you can do things like you know, machining a piece of wood into a rough shape, and we do some of that here, but the handwork is really what takes everything to the next level. We have to have those processes where we're intervening with the handwork and getting those details refined.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell us, Tim, how long have you been here at the custom shop?
43 years.
Wow! And you started off here doing this, or you doing something else?
No, I started off in buffing.
Okay.
I was there about 35, 36 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I got to move around to other departments.
Yeah.
I've been in finishing repair, and about 3 years ago, I got to move over here to the big wheel line.
Wow, that's incredible. You a guitar player as well?
Yeah.
Right on, man.
I'm not that good, but...
Well, what's your current guitar of choice?
Les Paul, of course.
Of course, of course. How long did it kind of take for you to get the hang of the whole thing here?
It took months.
Really?
It really did. Oh, yeah. There's so many operations over here where first thing you got to do is you got to taper the board to a certain rough taper. And after that, then you put the frets on it. And then after that, you have to press them down. And then you glue them in. Then you have to go over there to the sander and sand the frets back down to the edge of the wood.
Wow. Yeah.
And after that, then you do the T-slot, which puts a little groove, which I'll show you here a bit. You can see here on the binding, it's got a little lip that sticks up.
Yeah.
So you have to put a groove in the fingerboard for this to go into.
I mean, it's kind of impressive to think that, you know, what you're putting together here, there's going to be a lot of things played on this fretboard, huh?
That is true. You know, this is where the music is made.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody, Tim here. Tim, thank you so much for joining us, man. And
Okay, no
it's a
problem.
pleasure to have
Nice
you
to
on
meet you.
board, and thank you for being here for so many years, man. Okay, so now we're starting to see the neck come together a little bit here.
Yeah, so you know, obviously we've finished out our fretboard. We've started processing our neck. We faced this thing off. We've installed our truss rod. Got a 10-inch shape, but really what we're going to start doing over here is attaching the fingerboard to the neck and really finishing up that neck.
Right on. Okay, now, and then you were saying something really important that caught my attention. These are custom machines.
Yeah, so, well, you know, the sort of the irony of this process in building a guitar, half the battle is having the right equipment to build the machines, and we have to build a lot of what we use to build our guitars here in-house. So
that's wild.
These are all pneumatic. You know, we have a fingerboard in here being glued with hide glue on a Carina V neck. But we had to make all of this in-house. You know, I can't call up our friends at Stu Mac and say, hey, I need a 24 3/4 scale, you know, fretboard, pneumatic press. So we have a pattern shop here in-house, and we build almost everything besides the obvious things like a CNC, fixturing, tooling, pneumatic presses. All of that is built in our pattern shop in here in-house. So.
Wow.
People often ask about like a new model. When we introduce a new model, or hey, why aren't you making a particular model? Well, you know, product development comes up with a concept. Maybe it's a reissue of a model we've made in the past. But the first thing we have to do, even in the prototyping phase, is we have to start building all of the fixturing and equipment in-house. We can't just turn that on. But again, over here, we're gonna get that fingerboard on. We're gonna get a head veneer. We're gonna start shaping this a little bit more, and ultimately we're rolling into the neck roll.
That's kind of what sets it apart, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it really is a critical process. It's gonna give you the feel, the shape that we're looking for, and that our fans and artists are looking for.
Awesome.
So. Eric supervises this area back here, neck assembly. Named after Eric Clapton.
Actually, yeah, I was.
Yeah, nice.
and I got that opportunity to do a hand-carved neck for Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
I got approved for that custom that we did.
Yeah, I
way.
remember.
Which was very, very cool, yeah.
Yeah, we got a request for a very specific profile, and Eric handmade that neck. Looking very, very, very close to a finished neck, but we are actually quite a ways away from being completed here. So Eric, once you've attached the fingerboard, what's sort of the next steps on attaching the veneers and ultimately handing this off to the neck roll line?
Yeah, so once depending on the model of the neck, whether it's historic or if it's modern, we either use the white glue or we use hide glue to be historically accurate. And once the veneer is placed on, we have these pneumatic presses here. So we have a series of different veneers that will go with various different models. And then we just have our pneumatic press with our different cauls that'll fit the specific holes, so that way we can glue our veneer on.
How long does that take, Eric, just to get that thing to sit glue? I see one sitting there there.
Yeah,
how long is that sitting there for?
That one, we like to let the glue dry for about 45 minutes, but we cannot start machining or doing the roll we like to let them sit for 24 hours.
Wow.
So we like to let so everything that's processed already so far here in this cabinet here, that's gonna go over to neck roll, that's gonna be for tomorrow.
Okay.
So we like for the glue to dry and cure for at least 24 hours. But as far as clamping, just a 45-minute clamp.
Okay.
And then after that, we just need to let it cure for the 24 hours.
Okay, got it. Now, and hide glue in general, is it a more costly material for us, or I know it's definitely they talk about it being better for transfer of sound, just a little bit more, and the acoustics, from what I heard, it's basically like, there's a plus to that.
In all honesty, there's better adhesives that have been developed through all these years.
This is
right?
historically accurate.
It's historically accurate. It's not super easy to work with. It smells pretty bad, but there is an acoustic element to that. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on are building our golden era guitars the exact same way that they were built back then.
Right.
And that includes every little detail of hide glue, aniline dyes, all of those little nuances that make Custom Shop unique. But Eric, you play guitar? How long you've been here?
So I've been at the Custom Shop for 3 years now. Before that, I was building my own custom guitars out of my own shop for about 5 years before that.
Okay, so you've been doing this, yeah.
Yeah, it is truly my passion. Like
nice.
the last 3 years, I haven't gone to one day of work, because it's fun. We got the greatest job on the planet,
That's awesome. Man.
And before that, I was a touring musician for almost a decade, and I did that for a very long time, and wanted to have a family and settle down and kind of slow down a little bit, and just Frankensteining my own guitars on the road and stuff, kind of led me down this path of building, and then getting here and having an impact on the product is one of my main, prideful, joys in life is
awesome.
Being able to have an impact on this great instrument. And, one of the things that my dad told me that will always stick with me is when I got the job at Gibson, it's not just a job, you got a responsibility.
Right.
There's a responsibility. It's a brand. It's been here long before me. It's going to be here long after. And I want to make sure I leave it, better than I got it.
Man.
Yeah,
well
not
said.
just the brand, but the guitar itself. That's one thing that always trips me out a little bit is like, I'll pick up a guitar in here and think, this guitar is going to be on this earth long after I am, which just kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing the fretboard and then coming over here, it's like when you start really seeing it come together, like, who's going to play it? What's going to be played on it?
Yeah,
that's great.
And this is, I'm holding somebody's dream guitar right now. This is people save up their whole lives for these guitars, and we owe that to them to make sure that we do it the way that they expect it to be.
That's incredible, man. Eric, dude, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here and talk a little bit, man. Appreciate you sharing with us, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
So now we're in a really important step here. Keeping things historic and true and authentic is basically where the aniline dyes happen.
Yeah, and I've got gloves on.
I was gonna ask. Am I?
Yeah, we're not doing a physical today.
Okay.
You're good.
And everyone's at lunch right now, but at least we can kind of walk through some stuff and let us know what's happening here.
Yeah, so that cherry red SG, that 59 Les Paul with that cherry red back. Beautiful, beautiful, deep, rich red tone that you see in those guitars. At Custom Shop, we use an aniline die to achieve that. And it is, you know, it's historically accurate, but it definitely has its drawbacks from a production standpoint. It is not easy to work with. It would be a whole lot easier just to paint a guitar red or a cherry color.
Well, I thought that, I didn't know any better, but like I thought it was just like a what do you call it? A stain or something, like a stain finish you would put on regular wood.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dye, and it contaminates everything.
Oh,
so,
wow.
you know, you work with aniline dye, it gets on you, it gets on, obviously, the guitar. You go and put that guitar on a rack, it transfers to another guitar.
Okay.
So we really have to quarantine the aniline dye. We kind of joke about it, we call it the murder room, because it's just looks like blood everywhere.
Okay, so that makes sense. That's why it has to be done in such a small batch environment.
Yeah,
it can't just be done in a big factory. Like
yeah, we have to keep it very separate from everything.
Okay.
Including all of the racks that we use for aniline dye guitars and all of that. But I can show you. I mean, this guitar has had a first pass of aniline dye. It almost looks brown because it doesn't have lac or anything on it.
Sure.
But you can see just how messy it is even in the application. And you know, if you were to go set this guitar in a rack, a finishing rack, and then come along and put a white guitar or, you know, a frost blue guitar, you're gonna have big problems. Because
even if it's dry?
Yeah, that dye is gonna transfer into to another finish. So the sections that we have for aniline dye are only so big, so we can only process so many guitars through there a day. And obviously, since you're not painting it, you're staining it all by hand. They take a lot of time. They dry a little bit differently than guitars going through the normal finish process. Aniline dye is alive and well at Custom Shop. We're still using it today.
So this is staying true to the way we built guitars back in the day. Nothing has changed with that aspect. Okay, that makes sense to me now, because I was wondering why it was like something that we couldn't do in a bigger room or just crank out more of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a production friendly process, you know, and that's why you don't see it on a large scale.
Dude, everything is so craft here. Everything is so small, and like, you know, it looks to me also about the size of a boutique, you know, guitar company. It's literally a boutique guitar company within Gibson at this moment.
I mean, every time somebody comes in here, whether it's an artist or, you know, a friend or anybody that wants a tour of Custom Shop, they're always blown away by how small it is.
Yeah.
You know, that's always like, man, I pictured this place being so much bigger. And, you know, we got a bunch of interesting characters in here, a bunch of wacky processes, and we're all in tight quarters, and it really makes for a family environment for better or worse at times.
Absolutely. I mean, we're not going to get a chance to talk to everybody, but just the few people that we are getting to talk to today, man, it's incredible to see. They all understand where they are.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a place that is special. You can feel it in the air. I mean, the people that come here want to be here. It's a place that you know, people strive to be a part of this this funky bunch that we call Custom Shop. So
very cool, man. All right, well, I'm not shaking your hand after that.
Yeah, well, don't blame you, man.
Okay, Dustin, where are we at right now?
One thing that we have to do that we haven't done yet is put our pickup routes in the body, and we do that with the neck attached. We've established a neck pitch based on what tailpiece and what pickups are going to be in the guitar, and so now we're ready to go ahead and put it on the machine and put the tailpiece and pickup routes in the guitar. So I mean, ultimately, Anthony knows all about the pedal and the pickup route. Anthony, how long you been here?
I've been here a little over 2 years now.
Oh, 2 years. Right on. So I was just talking with Dustin, you know, it blows my mind kind of where it's like, you know, if we had a guitar and we're now just doing the pickup routes, it's like, would the different neck have anything to do with the pickup routing? No.
Well, I mean,
It's going to be more your hardware configuration. So,
oh, okay.
So you know, like
wrap around.
Yeah, exactly. So
it'd be different than hardtail. Sorry, like a you know, tunematic.
Exactly,
because
the neck angle is going to change at that point due to the thickness of the bridge. So
Wow.
so say you want, you know, a wraparound on an Explorer. They're normally spec'd out for, like an Explorer Custom's normally spec'd out for a tunematic.
Okay.
So your neck angle has to perfectly, the strings have to perfectly line up with that tunematic, but the wraparound's going to be thicker, so that changes the angle. And so all the configuration for the hardware happens here because the pickups and the hardware all get routed at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So again, you can't just crank a bunch out and then just have, it doesn't work like that.
We can't crank a bunch out. No.
Period.
Yeah, of anything.
That's wild.
So,
That's wild. Okay, got it. So like, yeah, I mean, I know you probably can't do Explorer neck on a Les Paul, but even something like that, I mean, everything has to be routed differently at that point.
Yeah.
Wow.
At that point, we're looking at it as like, it's not technically a new model, but we're kind of looking at it that way because it's something that's never been done before. So we have to build it from the ground up, you know.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's great, man. That's great. You're a guitar player yourself?
I am, yeah.
Right on. What's your guitar choice?
My guitar of choice, probably a double cut special.
Nice.
I really like those.
Yeah.
I like P90s, so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Man, thank you so much for taking the time to break that down. That blows my mind about the whole like pickup rounding thing after the fact. That's really great.
Yeah.
Very cool. Nothing modular here.
Well, you know, like, you know, that's the other thing with like customization and pickup configurations is we're actually cutting the pickup configuration into the body. You know, it's some other guitars out there in the world, you know, they all have the same route. The pickups are in the pick guard.
Right.
You drop them in.
Yeah.
Whereas with these, we actually have to, you know, cut for the specific pickup configuration, whether it's a P90 and a humbucker, two P90s, a Firebird pickup, whatever. All of those configurations have to be a part of the build process. We're not using the same body construction for every layout. It's unique for every single build.
Got it.
So,
wow, crazy. So now we're going to move on to kind of more of the finishing steps, right? Like electronics. And,
I mean, from here we're into color prep. We're starting to, you know, put some color on the guitar. Okay. We have a guitar with a neck, you know, fingerboard, pickups, controls, truss rod, all the things.
Okay.
It's a Whitewood guitar. It looks like a guitar. And so we're going to start putting some color on it.
Dude, awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right on. Anthony, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is it.
Yeah. Now it's time to start putting some paint on the guitars. And that's where we do that, right here in the finishing department.
Let's do it. This is exciting. All right, let's go. All right, everybody, we're in the finishing area here. I'm with Scott Rush, who's going to be showing us around and see all these guitars being sprayed to their beautiful finishes, man. This is incredible.
Well, I'm a little biased, but I think this is the best department in the whole building. Right, out of everything we do, I think this is probably the coolest part. So whenever the guitars come in, you know, they're in that raw state. So the first thing we got to do is we got to get some sealer on them.
Okay.
We get the die covered up, we get the filler covered up, get a little bit of protection on it.
Right.
And then we'll prep it. And everything we're doing, we're heading towards this goal right here, where they're going to get in the booth and they're going to get the primary colors put on them.
Okay, so that's not the color of the guitar right now.
That's not the finished product.
Got it.
So this is actually just, if you will, the base colors setting up for the final shade that he's in there doing now. So what you're seeing is actually when he's done. And they'll come over, they'll move over to the next station right before here. And this is some of his work for the day, is what's in that rack right there. That's just some of his work for the day.
How long does that take to dry?
You're probably going to need a good 20-30 minutes to really let that paint, let that sealer cure.
Okay.
So by the time he gets done, and let's say he gets to this last guitar, you see the length of the line? Usually by the time he gets done and that line runs its route, by the time it comes down, that's about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh,
so
okay.
usually by the time they reach the end, these lines are set up to hold about 80.
80, okay.
So he'll bring in 20 or 30, he'll get those worked on, transfer those over, he'll bring in the next batch, and they're usually different colors. He'll have 10 of one color, 7 of another color. So he really has to be careful to mind the quote number, to mind what color that's called for. Because if you're not paying attention, you might paint something the wrong color.
I got you. Do you think it's possible for us to go take a peek and see him spraying one of the guitars?
Absolutely, absolutely. You guys have at it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so what he's doing right there is actually the finished color. That's the last stage of that particular color on that model.
Wow, okay. And it looks like you guys have got, is it 2 spray booths here?
Yeah. So that one is the primary spray booth.
Okay.
This one is more of a oddball colors. He might not have a color in a gun. We got one guitar that needs a color. We'll just bring it in here, spray it in here.
So this might be more like a made to measure or like a dealer exclusive run or something like that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It's more supplemental to what he's doing.
Okay, so now we're here with Lisa.
Yeah.
Who's going to be doing the binding scraping.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So, you know, one of the things we talked about out in Whitewood was, you know, how we have to, half our battle on building guitars is making the equipment and the tools to actually build the guitar. Again, we can't just go out and order a Les Paul custom binding scraping kit off of Amazon or whatever.
I figured it'd just be a razor blade or something, like a standard.
You know, we need all kinds of different angles and different shapes and all of that. So, and each scraper is completely unique in what tools they want or need to accomplish the job. And so we just buy metal stock and they shape it and create it themselves. Lisa's here with the Les Paul Custom Black Beauty. Again, just looking like a black Les Paul standard until she does her magic.
Wow.
So we'll
Can't
let
wait
Lisa,
to see that.
I'll hand those to her very carefully.
Yeah.
Very carefully.
Yeah.
But every little detail is about the little nuances of historical accuracy, and that comes all the way down to serialization. You know, we do a combination of ink stamps or a hard stamp like on a 60s guitar. This is where the guitar is actually getting an identity beyond just being a gold top. It's actually becoming who it will be forever.
Okay, so now what's this area behind me here with these? Dude, are those gold?
Yeah,
treaties?
those are gold glitter. Actually, those are 355s with diamond F-holes.
Holy smokes.
So what happens is, after our guy here gets done painting, then it goes over into the scraping. You saw that part.
Yeah.
Whatever serial numbers or decals are needed happens over there too.
Saw that, yes.
And the following day, they come into this room and they're divided out between 2 booths because we put 8 coats of lacquer on each guitar. And you know, you really need 2 sprayers to accomplish that. So they'll come in here and they'll have no lacquer on them, they'll just have sealer. And they literally build the lacquer up by hand through the day. And it's an all-day process, you know, 8 coats. And they have to be very particular in how they do it too, to make sure the build is on there right. And you get the correct amount of lacquer. That way it goes through the rest of the process and gets that really nice, glossy, finished look that you would see over in final assembly. They got to give that 3 days dry time. The lacquer has to have a minimum of 72 hours.
Minimum 72 hours.
Before they put it on the buffing wheel.
Okay. Scott, man, thank you so much for showing us around here and finishing. I have a question for you. How long have you been here with the Gibson and the custom shop?
I've actually been with the company for 32 years.
Whoa!
Yeah.
In this department?
Only in finishing. I've never been outside of finishing, all 32 years. Yeah.
So you see quite a few guitars come through here, huh?
I've seen a couple in my day, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Now, were you always in finishing or any prior experience that you were in guitar working or painting or anything like that?
In high school, I painted newspaper racks for this guy that owned the company.
Yeah.
When I graduated high school, literally 1 month later, I'm working for Gibson in the finishing department.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And not related to anyone in Rush.
No, my brothers tried to convince me I was, but it turned out it wasn't true, man. So yeah.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for taking the time, man, and
My
appreciate you
pleasure.
being here, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, so one of the stops here at the custom shop, of course, is the coveted Murphy Lab room here. Let's see what. Let's see if we can take a peek at what Tom's cooking up right now. Hey, Tom, what is that?
Oh,
Holy smokes! Are we all? Are we coming in there? We got to come in there.
Read the site. Authorized staff. Sorry, love to have you.
So real quick, one of the most important things that happen to our custom shop guitars is they all go through a Plek'ing process. And I'm here with Jeff right now, who's gonna help us understand what's going on here and walk us through that. Jeff, thanks so much, man. We appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir, no problem.
So what's going on here? There's a whole graph here scanning the neck?
Basically, this guitar was just loaded. It's all simulated string tension. So when the guitar is loaded in, it's looking at the instrument exactly like it's going to be played under string tension.
Oh, okay.
So after that scanning process, you have this graph right here. And what you're looking at, high E to low E, I can get a 3D sense of what's going on with that fingerboard.
Wow.
So from that point on, I will use this graph to determine whether or not I need to loosen or tighten the truss rod.
Okay.
So this one is in good shape. So right here, same graph,
wow,
more detail, right? So currently, if you were to play this guitar before Plek'ing it, it is indicating that you're gonna have a fret buzz at the 12, 11, 9th, and 8th frets at the low E.
Oh, it's that surgical.
The D string at the 3rd fret, 4th fret, and that's it.
So it'll correct all that?
Because I leveled this one by hand.
Oh, so
first.
you do the leveling by hand first?
Right, and so then I can come in and see where the problems are.
Ah!
So current after cutting. So the green line is basically my fret pile. So what I come in here and do is tweak this fall off radius here. The green line is my cutting path. The red line is the frets as they exist, you know, right now.
Right.
So basically this one is ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue the process. After it finishes, it's gonna look exactly like that green line.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And
you have perfect playability. You have a compound fret radius. It makes the guitar just play amazing.
That's great, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, how long have you been here at the custom shop?
23 years.
23 years. Holy smokes, man. Guitar player?
Yes, sir.
Dude.
Yes, sir.
You started off here, or you were doing?
I started off in the custom shop when I was 20 years old, man.
Man,
and,
that's awesome.
Trimming, binding, and things like that. And then I started leveling frets by hand until we got our first Plek machine in 2005.
Wow.
And now we have 4 of them. So,
that's crazy, man.
It's literally fret filing practice all day long for me. So,
wow.
So,
well, man, I appreciate it. I mean, every one of these guitars plays awesome. So, man, thanks to you. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Hey,
have a good one. Thanks for letting us come by. So now we're in final assembly. I'm here with Colin Gebauer. Thank you so much, Colin, for joining us and helping us walk through this area. I'm super excited about this because this is where we get to geek out on the parts, the electronics, and all the good stuff, man.
This is the fun part back here.
Yeah, definitely, man. Give us the rundown.
So what we're at right now is neck prep. It's a real important part of the process. Usually when we get the guitar, it has this tape on it, so it protects the fingerboard from the finish and buffing wax and everything. So what these guys do over here is they'll break the seal of the tape and they'll get all the tape off and clean all the fingerboard up and clean all the glue off, all the wax. And usually from the Plek, we have a whole bunch of Plek lines moving down the frets.
Okay.
Their job is to clean it up. So whenever you get that guitar in your hands, it feels nice. It's not rubbing. The strings aren't rubbing on the frets.
Ah, got it.
It's a huge part. Usually when you grab a guitar and the first thing you play, you feel the neck.
Yes.
So what they do over here is they clean it all up. They'll roll some of the edges so it's real comfortable, not sharp.
Okay, so that's interesting because as I know now from seeing the main factory floor, we do roll the fingerboard.
Yes.
That's a huge part of custom. And we can roll it a little bit more even with the Murphy Lab stuff. We can break that lacquer barrier, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's crazy to see it even more done here on this side. So you guys are still rolling the fretboard here for ultimate comfort.
Yeah, this is more like, as we're in final assembly, this is the final spot. By the time he's done with it right now, it's gonna be super smooth.
Wow, so that's all done by hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have to look good.
Yeah,
You know, they're expensive guitars, they have to look good.
Apparently they're gonna feel really good too.
They
because,
are.
Yeah, I did not know that more of that happened here. That's great. Okay, cool. So what's the next step after this?
So next step after he's done, he's gonna take it over here to keys.
Okay.
So we can walk over there.
Sure, let's do it.
And yeah.
Okay, Colin, so now we're at keys.
So now we're at keys. So after all the frets get prepped and polished, they bring them over here to Leo to put the keys in.
Nice.
And this is where they'll use drilling fixtures and ream them out so we don't get any chip outs or anything. And he'll put, you got your double bands, your single bands, depending on the model. You have your 60s or your 50s, anyone. We got all kinds of different jigs for him to kind of match up to make sure we're getting them. Some of them you have to hand line. I mean, there's a lot to know over here because every model, they change keys a lot.
They change keys a lot.
Yeah.
And then also if there's any heavy aging hardware, this is all here as well.
Yes, so he'll have different hardware. We have gloss, just regular VOS hardware.
Okay.
The heavy aged. After here, we'll take it over to the next track, which is gonna be where the build process starts.
Okay, great. I know we might be skipping something here, but I just saw the electronics section here, and I know he's doing some soldering there, but this caught my attention. Dude, this is like the real deal stuff here.
This is old school here. I mean, these are like our typical reissue ones here.
Okay.
So we got the Bumblebee caps, and these go on pretty much all our old reissue models. So your 57s, 56s, 59s, all our reissues. These are what they are, and they're all hand soldered right over in this area.
Phone book capacitors here, they call it the paper and oil cap?
Yes, we do have those. Those go on like the Carina Explorers. Let me see if I can find one here.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. There's one for you.
Look at that. So the reason why they call this a phone book capacitor, if you look at that real close, it actually does look like a little book there. And this is like true historic, this is what they would have used.
Yeah, we use all historic parts here.
Okay, I'm sorry, I sidetracked us for a second.
Well, it's actually perfect because this goes right into the build process.
Oh, cool.
They grab it and they throw it into the guitars and start wiring the pickups in.
Oh, dude, let's check that out.
So yeah, we can check it out right over here, actually.
We're here with Pete. Thank you so much for letting us crash the party here. Colin,
yes.
This is like the final steps. There's electronics being installed.
This is it. This is right before our QC area, so he's going to do the rest of it.
Okay. Now, this guitar, this is a Murphy Lab, you said?
Yes. These are actually one of our new Brazilian rosewood boards with a heavy aged Murphy Lab.
Okay, so I see some of the parts here. Wow, this is incredible. So these are like all aged. Oh, that's a light tailpiece.
Yeah. Yeah, the historic ones were aluminum.
Wow. Look at the aging on that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is just, this looks like real old parts. I mean, even the rusting around the post here.
Yeah, even our dial pointers got a nice rust to them.
That's great.
The aging takes their time to do this. Even the knobs, they're nice and green as if you were using it for a while.
Now the pickups, that looks great. These are custom buckers?
Those are custom buckers, yep.
And the custom buckers, that's basically a replica of a patent applied for pickup.
Yes.
Like the Holy Grail. Some people will call it PAF style.
Yep.
God, those are aged perfect.
Yeah, they look good, especially with the aging of the guitar. It looks like an old guitar. Yeah, so we have Pete here. Pete's been here for 23 years, so he's seen these guitars a lot. He's gonna set it up, make sure it plays right.
Now, Pete, if we had to blindfold you, do you think you could do one of these?
Probably. I know I could do a 335.
Oh, 335.
Hey, 335,
Holy
man.
smokes,
He originally came from Memphis.
That's the next video. So this gets full, this gets the electronics, the knobs, the pickups. I mean, this is everything here.
Yep, truss rod cover. The nut will get shaved down, so he'll kind of shave it and shape it and slot it.
Oh, so that also happens here?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Usually because when they come, they're kind of squared off. They're a little sharp around the edges here, and they have lacquer on them, so it just kind of looks a little ugly.
Well, that makes sense because at this point we haven't had strings on the guitar.
Exactly. So what he'll do is take files, sandpaper, smooth it over, round the edges so you're not hitting your finger on it, and then just kind of make sure it's slotted right.
It's funny because looking at the guitar now with the pickups, it's almost like now it has a face.
Yeah.
Pete, thanks so much, man, for letting us check this out. I appreciate it. Okay, where are we now?
So now we just saw Pete building a guitar and setting up. It's gonna come right here to final inspection.
Okay.
This is where these guys here, Tyler and Archie, they're gonna clean the guitar, look over it, and make sure this thing is good to go in a box. Tyler will actually give you a lot more. He's been around here, he's done a lot of the jobs around here, so he knows what to look for.
Tyler, man, yeah, please. Well, here, walk us through. I got a microphone just strategically placed right underneath that guitar.
Nice. Cool, kind of heavy too. So when a guitar comes over here, it gets placed in one of these racks, and then what we do is we take a RFID tag that's with every guitar and we scan it.
Okay.
And what it does is it brings up all the specs. So this is a 1960 Les Paul, so it's going to have a thinner neck. It's going to have reflector knobs.
Do you mind if I...
Go ahead. Yeah, it's going to have some different appointments. So
look at that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. We get all different types of guitars here. So every guitar that comes over here has these tags with it.
Okay.
And they could look like a 1960, but they could be specially ordered with a 59 neck or a 58 neck.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a 1960s neck. So people will go to a dealer and ask, hey, I want a guitar, fits in my specifications. So it's our job over here to look at the specs on the computer to make sure that everything's right what the customer is asking for.
As far as the final QC goes, what are we looking for here?
We're looking for things that the people before us make sure they did their job correctly.
Okay.
Making sure there's no tooling marks on fretboards, making sure there's no jams and finish, dirt, anything that can be that you don't want on a brand new guitar.
Now, if something does set off the alarm, let's say, is that coming back to you guys calling over here?
Yeah, usually it depends on the problem. If you get a small little scratch or jam or something, these guys up here have been trained in buffing, so they can sand it flat, get it out, and you will never even know it's there. But if there's a wrong part, like if someone put the wrong bridge on it, these guys, we can take it back to whoever built it and let them know, hey, this is wrong, we need to change this out, and then they'll fix it and bring it back up here.
Copy that. Okay, got it. And then obviously a play test and making sure all the controls
we're doing chromatic scales, everything, making sure that it's not fretting out anywhere. Going to the neck position, making sure it's not fretting out up there, making sure all the frets are level, just general playability.
Now, what about the case? Does that happen here too?
The case is right here, directly over here on our right or left.
Oh, okay.
Depending on which way you're viewing this.
Yeah.
But, they take the guitar, they put it in the case. So if we do an artist run, there's special case candy that goes with it. And those guys will pull up a spec sheet on their end as well. Since we're a custom shop, we're not going to be doing a huge volume. I think our product is, there's more attention to detail. So we're doing a less number, but we're still keeping the quality at a higher standards.
Is there anything back here that you could maybe point us out to?
Yeah.
And you could give us some cool candy to look at?
We got a Frost Blue 355. So someone custom ordered this. This is not a core color.
This is made to measure?
Yes.
Okay, so now what's made to measure about this? Obviously the color?
Yes. Everything else about it is more like a 1959 355.
Okay.
The long pick guard. The vibrola, all that stuff. But somebody ordered it this way. And this is actually a Murphy Lab.
I was just gonna say, because I can see the checking on that. So yeah, so made to measure, they get a historic model.
Yes.
They painted it differently, which makes it made to measure. And then they applied the Murphy Lab aging to the guitar.
And this is ultralight. So ultralight is just fine checks. There's no dings. There's no jams. It's like a guitar that sat in a case for a very long time.
And just with that checking.
And just started checking.
Normal, yeah. Whoa, okay.
So this right here is a
that's
deluxe, a 70s style deluxe. I know generally deluxes have mini humbuckers, but this one is so bar P90s. And this is called Purple Void. So it's got a nice transparent purple finish on it, the neck, the volute.
Yes.
It's a take on a 76. Everything that this guitar minus the pickups is what it would have been in '76.
That's awesome. Now, Tyler, how long have you been with the company?
8.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were here in this area, or did you do something else for the company previously?
No, I came from another guitar manufacturer.
Oh, cool.
So,
okay.
but anyway, I've been in Nashville since 2015.
2015, okay.
Yeah, so ever since I moved here, I've been working at Gibson.
Nice.
It's been specifically Gibson Custom.
How about you? How long have you been here?
About 7.5 years.
Wow. Guitar player as well?
Yep.
That's great.
Same.
Yep. That's great. What's your favorite Gibson?
Probably the 61 SG reissue.
Nice.
When I moved over here, I just played it so much, I ended up buying one.
Wow.
I love that guitar.
That's great. I gotta say, this has been a real treat. We've had a great time today. Everyone's been so awesome and just been feeling the love with everyone showing us around, man. Are you guys ready for this? I've got some crazy stuff here. Check this out. Hold on. Look at that. Okay, Tyler, what is going on with these two? Holy smokes.
That's a special ordered guitar.
Wow.
Yeah, so somebody said, I want split block inlays, Les Paul Custom, 3 pickups. And our sales team said, we'll do it.
Incredible.
Yep.
I've never seen it in that color. I mean, I've seen the Black Beauty like that, you know?
Yeah, somebody liked it that much that they wanted it in white.
And then look at this.
That's a 54, but somebody wanted a mini humbucker in the bridge position and a staple pickup in the neck.
Wow.
And obviously a custom color.
With the waffle backs, look at that. Okay, this is a dangerous place. my wallet's starting to scream at me right now. So yeah, this is just, wow, look at that. I mean, I can't even show you all the guitars that are back here because it's just incredible. But yeah, this is just amazing.
Yes.
Tyler, dude, thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through that. And Colin, man, I appreciate it so much. That was a wonderful experience, man. Thank you. Thank you.
This guitar caught my eye when we were walking by earlier because this to me is like the perfect embodiment of somebody getting pretty creative out there.
Yeah.
So I did sort of a double take. I see a 56 Les Paul standard all over this thing, right? So it's, you know, 56 Les Paul would have been ABR1, stop tail, 2 P90s, cream, gold top. Somebody morphed that into an SG. So this is a custom build that somebody dreamed up. You know, it's kind of what if the SG had been introduced in 1956 or something.
Sure.
Obviously, this has the Murphy Lab treatment that they've added on there as well. So we got the checking and aging. But
okay, so now Murphy Lab treatment can be applied to any of those guitars that you just listed here.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people add Murphy Lab to a modern, you know, which is,
got it.
You know, so you can, it's most common, obviously, in our historic collection. People typically, if they get a 59 Les Paul or something, they want to make it look like and feel like a vintage guitar. People are getting turned on to doing the Murphy Lab on something like a Les Paul Access. I saw a black Access with a Floyd and all the, you know, belly carve and all of that. Clearly a modern guitar, but it was Murphy Labbed out, and it looked killer. So
quite a mix of guitars here.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not, you know, the first thing sometimes you might think about custom shop, you might just think about those historic reissue models.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what we pride ourselves on is the historic element. We really are about the details on the historical side of things, but we're also innovative on the modern side as well.
Love it. I love the fact that you can actually morph them together and decide if you want that Murphy Lab aging.
Yeah, I mean, even, and again, sort of the materials, you know, this is a Les Paul Custom. It looks actually like a historic Les Paul Custom, but somebody put a burl maple top on it, you know, and just finished it natural. Pretty killer look. And then also things that are just kind of out there, right? I mean, 335. This is a 59 335. It's got the long pick guard, so it's a historic 59 335.
Incredible.
Nothing historic about it. It's got the heavy figured veneers, green iguana burst, green tea burst, I think is what they're calling this. But you know, you can mix and match between the historic, the modern, the Murphy Lab, and then obviously we have, you know, our greatest hits like I said, the you know, just something like an R9,
classic,
a 57 gold top. You know, this is a guitar that remains in our collection all the time. It's what people want out there for us to be building out there is the 57s, the 56, 59. all the 335s and all of that. So that's our core collection. You can always order those. Made to measure allows you to make tweaks to those specs or go full wild.
Yeah.
And then of course you can go from something like our VOS treatment or gloss to all the way on the spectrum of a heavy age Murphy Lab.
Dustin, thank you so much for showing us around and for getting everyone involved, and for everyone else that was walking us through some of the finishing and final assemblies and the QC process. It's really nice to see all the little details, all the hands-on that really make these guitars come to life, these instruments come to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time to do a made to measure. So I don't know, that could be the next video. You guys got it.
Yeah,
we
I'm
might do that.
surprised it's taken this long for you to bring that up, but yeah.
I think I'm gonna bug you one more time.
Yeah.
So that might be in the cards here in the future.
All right, you got anything in mind?
I'm kind of thinking of a burst without making it look like a burst, man. Like maybe a paint on paint kind of thing. I know that's not really something that people do, but I kind of would like to see, like, if there was like a burst where you could see paint on top and then see the burst peek through in certain areas of wear.
Like it had been finished over.
Like it had been refinned. Yeah, totally.
All right, man.
Could be a thing. I don't know.
To each their own, and that's what we do here.
It's a little sacrilegious to do that, but it kind of fascinates me. So, man, thank you, everyone, once again. Dustin and man, we're here at the Custom Shop in Nashville, Tennessee. What great time.
Tennessee. Come on down.
Killer. So, a special bonus section here of this video. I am sitting here with Custom Shop Master Artisan, Mr. Rick Hendrickson. Rick, what is going on here?
I don't know.
Man, I walked up to your desk here and I am seeing some of the most amazing things I've ever seen in a guitar build, man. What is going on here?
They all think I'm nuts.
Okay, hold up. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Okay, so you do your own thing here. You get to do what you want, what comes to mind.
Yep, they won't even let me take orders. They just let me do whatever.
So it's usually a one of one.
It absolutely is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been doing this type of work?
Yes, yeah, I think just a little over 5 years as the artist.
So how long have you been with the company?
12 years.
12 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now, was this type of woodwork, and like, this is wood burning obviously behind me, right? I mean, you've been doing that like for a while, and then you just decided to start doing it? You just picked this up yesterday? Like, what happened?
No, the first one I did, for when they opened the garage, they wanted something for Les Paul, and I had a $20 burner from Hobby Lobby, and I did that, but I said, I think I want a better burner, so they bought me a better burner, and I wanted to try it out. So I just kind of teach myself as I go.
This is incredible. Look at that. I mean, yeah, that's incredible. Okay, so I see some straps here. I mean, this is amazing. This is all hand tooled. I mean, this is
the head of engineering here, Austin. His family does leather work in Texas, and they come up and talk to me, and I send them pictures, and we discuss it, and they made
Look at this. I mean, I've never even seen a strap like that.
Yeah, I told him I want them unmistakably for these guitars, not just something you can go in and.
Okay, Rick. You gotta show us a couple of things you're working on right now, please, if you don't mind, because I am just
save this one for a minute.
Dying with curiosity here.
Let's see, got that new wood burner.
What? You gotta be kidding me, man!
I needed to practice.
When you got that wood burner, you went to town.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I had some fun with this.
Oh wow. Okay, so
I just like it because you can feel the texture. It's not like you just painted it on there, and
that's real deal.
The lacquer kind of sinks to it. I know that side. I'm just
wow, and that continues up to the neck. Look at that on the back. Now, how is this happening?
I painted
them. Wow. Okay, because I couldn't tell if that was a wood material or not.
No, I painted them and then we lacquered them.
And then the knobs?
So we did order those. We found those. I couldn't figure out what kind of knobs I wanted on there.
Yeah.
And the guy that does the hardware down here for aging, whenever I'm getting close, I always ask him what he thinks look good, and he never lets me down. He found those knobs.
How many hours do you think this took? Days, weeks.
Yeah, I probably have 3 weeks or a month in this guitar, and then another that much at least again in the amp.
That is definitely a one-off. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. That's amazing. Well, if that's the start, oh my gosh, let's see what the next one is. That is fantastic.
Well.
Oh man, okay.
Okay,
here we go.
It's different than the other one.
Whoa.
I mean.
Look at okay, so that even continues onto the fretboard to the headstock. Oh, okay. On the tuners, on the hardware.
I try to paint the hardware and stuff so you can't see it.
Rick,
I just want
that
it to
is
look
amazing.
Like,
look at the back. It continues on the side. That's amazing.
It's fun to just create.
That's all hand done.
Yeah. I painted them all by hand.
I was gonna say the whole
forever.
Look at each one of those. Look at the back of the tuners. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm pretty eclectic. I don't want a year's worth of work and they all look the same. I want, I can paint.
You know, this is great. I don't even know how you did that, but it's inside. That's inside the knob.
I painted them from the inside so that they wouldn't wear. But
I don't understand. I don't even understand how you would do that because aren't these
tricky?
I don't even get that. Like, did you have to paint this and then get the knob dipped in plastic or something? Or
no,
what?
I mean, it's plastic clear speed knobs, but if you flip it over, there's just a little ridge opening around there, and I took.
You were able to get a brush in there or something little
brush in there. I painted.
I mean, look at
I
on
wanted
the
the
side
numbers
of the
and stuff to still show.
Yeah. No, I mean you can still read the numbers. It's great. This is incredible.
I just wanted it to look like it was wrapped in Christmas paper.
It sure looks like, yeah. So what do you call this one? You have a name for this one?
I just call it Psychedelic 2.
Oh, man. That's a work of art, indeed.
I know that it's been done, but I wanted to do my version of a Western-themed guitar.
Whoa.
And carving's really what I really like to do. And
wow.
I just like to see how detailed I can get carving and stuff, and of course I would burn the. Yeah,
wow.
I just thought it was cool, and Sean found me the maple knobs where he
These
found
are
those other
maple
ones.
knobs.
Yeah. And
it's light.
Yeah, I know.
Very light.
But I've been wanting to carve binding on theirs for a long time, and I finally had a reason to, and I carved rope on for the binding.
Nice feeling neck. And I love that Gibson G at the top with the horseshoe.
It's good luck.
It says Old West on the back of the headstock. Fantastic with the waffle back tuners. Well, I've never seen anything like that. That's incredible.
I already saved that one because it's so big.
I'm already a fan of guitars that come in cases like this to begin with.
Yeah, everybody said, "Oh, you're doing all the."
No way, man! No way. This is a Carina.
Yeah, the back is really where the artwork is.
What?
But I just had a lot of fun. I wanted it. I did the 2 tile ones. When I got those, I was trying to figure out how could I do them the same but different, and I decided on
look at the
to
back
make it
of
look
that.
like broken tile.
Look at that.
It was a lot of fun, but that was
the gold work on the
pretty labor intensive.
Man,
I carved the pick guard too, and if you take the pick guard off, it's the same thing under there.
Oh no way! I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
the pick guard is here.
Yeah, I didn't want a big old pick guard hiding everything, so I carved it and painted it too.
Look at the sides. It's got all that work on the sides. That continues all the way around the guitar.
Yeah, it's all the things from the Mayan calendar.
I was gonna say, yeah.
The serial number is the last day in the Mayan calendar.
No way, look at that. It does say 12/21/2012.
Yeah.
Incredible, incredible. Man, that feels like tile.
Yeah, I know it. That's why I wanted this one to be broken tile, and then
that feels like this is carved.
The last one is
this is all carved. This is not
different.
Pieces that you just stapled on or put on here, glued on here.
I had
this is the actual guitar that has been carved.
And again, I asked Sean down there, what should I do for pickup covers and stuff? And he said, oh, leave them exposed, paint them, and it turned out good.
So this is a Carina Explorer.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen anything like that. The fact that I'm feeling it right now, it really does feel like you put it does feel like tile work.
Yeah, that's what I think it does too. That's
It looks like it
really
too.
what I wanted.
It looks like there's grout in the middle of each one of those things, and it feels like it. Look at that. Okay. I mean, man, this is just, wow, what a treat. What a treat here.
The very last one over there it's
there's another one.
It's the V there. It's kind of the sister to this one, because I got them together, and like I said, I want them to be able to stand on their own, but I kind of have been thinking of them as
is this turning into a real estate show? Or like, are you gonna show me the best house last? Is that what's happening right now? Is that what's happening? I can't take it.
Depends on your taste. You love them or you hate them. Huh?
Oh, they're all slam dunks. Are you kidding me? They're all fantastic.
Right.
Here's the foreshadowing.
You're going to see something like that.
Okay, so that comes included. Okay, that is a nice touch there. Okay, here we go.
And that's not the real case for it. That's just a case I used to.
Okay, this is a Faulkner case.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Whoa. Wow, man.
Like I said, I wanted it tile, but I wanted it to be the, the Mediterranean look and colors.
I didn't even call this out on the last guitar, but you're painting each one of those little pieces.
More than once, because it doesn't cover. So I had to paint the yellow on that other, and I had to paint 4 times. So it took a long time.
Wow, look at that. I mean, it just feels like, oh, the back is ridiculous. Okay. That's the front. If you didn't think that was cool enough, look at that, everyone. Amazing.
When I went down to lacquer after they put the base coats on it, and I seen the neck, I was like, oh, that's just what I had pictured.
Okay, so where do these ideas come from?
Man, I got the story. The story comes with the guitar. It'll be in the case.
So there is a story. You put it in the case, and we don't talk about that.
Sure.
Let the buyer get that. I mean, I know this had to take, this took some time.
It took a while. They usually take a couple months apiece.
Now, what is this? This is this a Carina V? Or this is a Carina V? Yeah. Wow. So you're already getting a premium product to begin with, hands down.
And that's fun. I hadn't worked with Carina yet or carved on or anything, but it was a lot of fun.
Have you found the differences in carving just because of the different hardnesses of wood and all that?
Oh, yeah.
What's the easiest one to get away with, would you say?
Mahogany probably carves the easiest, but maples, I don't know, it's just some solid and firm. It's fun to carve too.
Wow. Look at the back of the headstock where that meets. It's just perfectly done.
Yeah, I put a stinger back there just for fun.
Yeah. Just when, we were downstairs in the custom shop, and of course there's many great things down there, and then you come here and you really understand the magic that happens in this building. It's real special. That is just one of the best things I've seen. I've never seen guitars like this before.
Good, that's what I'm shooting for.
Well, man, that's awesome. So, I mean, let me ask you something. You make these guitars, like, what do you think, what are you hoping for the end user in their experience with one of your guitars? What are you hoping that they get to experience? What are you hoping that they, what do you think when that comes to mind? Is it hard to let go of them?
No, I get asked that all the time, but it's not. I get to work with them, for a few months and hang on to them all year while I'm working. And no, I'm always happy when somebody comes and loves it enough to take it home.
You're cool with someone playing these and doing their thing, or
Absolutely.
Or if they got it up on the walls as a
whatever they want to do with it.
That's great.
Yeah, whatever they want to do with it.
That's great, man. What a pleasure it is to see all the things that you're doing here, and it's just magical, man. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to let us in on your world here and show us a few things, man.
No, I appreciate
Real special, man. Real special. Thank you. Once again, everyone, Mr. Rick Henderson here, our master artisan here at the Gibson Custom Shop. Rick, thanks again, man.
You bet.
Well, there you have it, everyone. A great little look here at the Custom Shop and all the magic that happens in there, from every little detail, the materials, and of course, the most important thing, the special people that work here and put all their passion into it, just like all of us do as guitar players and guitar enthusiasts. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.